I'm Edward Warfield, the publisher of City Biz, and I'm honored today to interview Dean Trevelino and Genna Keller, the co-CEOs and co-founders of Trevelino Keller. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dean, can you provide an introduction to the agency? What is the focus, some of the industry categories you're targeting, some of the services, and some of the major team members?
Sure. Thanks, Edwin. So we position ourselves as a growth PR and marketing firm. We define that across three areas of service: public relations, growth marketing, and creative services. We take what we call kind of an outcome-driven approach, and our solutions are built around that. So, for example, we focus on go-to-market strategies. Some companies that are further along in their life cycle lean into more of an accelerated growth program. And then, those companies that may have been around a while but feel like they need kind of a relaunch, a makeover, then we do a brand, relaunch program. Those solutions, really resonate with the kinds of companies that we tend to align with. Some of that is, early stage, growth stage, middle market, and then, we do have national, international clients, more often with a heavy focus on, North America. In terms of, industries, we're pretty deep in a number of markets. We've been doing this for 21 years, so really strong in technology, healthcare, environment, government, franchising, and then we have some really nice kind of overlap, across some of those industries. So good in fintech, clean tech, food tech, health IT. In terms of staff and team, very proud of the fact that our executive management team has been with us between 16 and 21 years. We kind of boast about having the best retention in the industry, having lost only 2 people to agencies in 21 years.
So Trevelino Keller has a robust ecosystem within the technology community, including Atlanta Tech Village, Keiretsu Forum, Atlanta Tech Village, and Atlanta Tech Angels. How do you leverage this ecosystem for the agency and your clients?
Yeah, thanks. That's great. So technology is something near and dear to our hearts. When we founded the agency, tech was a big part of it. And as Dean just alluded, we're well versed in many of the tech verticals, be it fintech, health IT, et cetera. So a lot of times the tech folks need that ecosystem, right? They don't just need the marketing services, but perhaps they're looking for funding. Perhaps they're looking for strategic partners. Perhaps they're looking for customers. And that ecosystem helps us really, play a part in that role and facilitate those introductions. So we're looking at things holistically, not just from the PR and marketing point of view. And, that cross-pollination and those relationships coming to bear, very, very important. We even created our own forum called Winepreneurs, where every quarter we bring innovators and entrepreneurs together in a social setting to meet. Out of those sessions, we've formed great relationships, great clients, and partnerships.
So Dean, what are some of the critical features of the growth marketing solutions?
Yeah, so there always has to be a starting point, when we establish a relationship before we get into some of the more detailed strategies. We like to call it Jumpstart. It really takes a look at the brand, messaging, personas, and of course, if those personas don't exist, then we have to develop that. We look at web presence as well as the performance of the web. We want to make sure, foundationally, all of that is, buttoned up for us to be as effective when we, come in and begin to layer in recommendations. The other, critical stage is to really understand what the goals are of the business, as well as the budget, because the budget will, dictate the kinds of recommendations we can make. From there, we look at three, kind of paths of strategies. We start with inbound marketing. So inbound is going to give us a combination of, some paid opportunities, PPC, paid search, allows us to look at what we would call ABM, account-based marketing opt-ins, where we actually have curated that list. And then a lot of content-led SEO. From there, we're going to look at some outbound considerations. Outbound is going to be a faster strategy, but it's also going to cost more, right? So we're getting into out-of-home banner ads, traditional things like radio and TV, even an account-based marketing strategy that has us buying lists, right? And then that third piece is really more around reputation marketing. So more of the traditional earned media, organic social, but also more of the hybrid stuff that we've seen in recent years, like affiliate marketing or affiliate PR and influencer relations. From there, we build an integrated solution, again, that tracks back to whatever the budget is and the goals.
So Genna, Trevelino Keller recently acquired Marston Marketing. Tell us about the acquisition and Ann Marston's background and its impact on the firm.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're super excited about that. The acquisition of Marston was the right time, right? Absolutely the right time. So as we mentioned earlier, we're PR, we're creative, we're growth marketing. Ann's team has got a great amount of depth in that growth marketing area. They're known for that from the digital marketing expertise. So her folks and her team layer in resources to our existing team and our existing resources. So, Dean and I felt truthfully the sum of the two parts is just great because we see a great deal of opportunity and growth, no pun intended, with that growth marketing. Ann has been in the market for decades, and she has got expertise that she also has trained her team on. So we couldn't be happier.
So Dean, many marketing and PR firms are integrating AI into their solutions. How is Trevelino Keller incorporating AI?
Yeah, it seems to be, on top of mind for all agencies, obviously all industries. We're trying to take kind of a thoughtful and consistent, integration of AI. We started with productivity and client management. And one of the things that's really important to kind of accelerate that is to look at what your existing tech stack is and, hold on to those, that technology that is integrating AI into it, right? So platforms like Zoom, like Trello, like Sprout Social, we needed them to embrace AI. Otherwise, we have to go find a replacement stack that has embraced AI. So we've done all that pretty effectively, again, from a productivity and client management system. Now we move on to more AI-based, tactics, marketing and PR tactics, right? So things like persona development. There's some great AI out there to help us with that. We're even using it from a sitemap, wireframe development. It kind of expedites that process. A/B campaign testing, also really effective. Where we haven't gone is where we think, ideation, programming that is more emotional, needs to stay with the human capital side of the business. That could change in the future, but that's kind of our point of view at this point.
So Genna, let's switch to content marketing. How important is content marketing, thought leadership, and what are the primary tools that you are using to implement them?
Yeah, sure. So, content, our view is it's the foundation of all marketing, right? It is the harbinger of the message. It is the positioning. And so when you look at content marketing, really it's all of those vehicles to get that position and that message out there. So, from a tool perspective, there are a lot of technologies that we can use to facilitate that, and that's why we like the growth marketing. But we also want to look at it integrated from the public relations perspective. So earned content, for an example, that does a great deal to fuel thought leadership. Then you look at how do you amplify that, and you use those digital channels and those tools. Um, Truthfully, it could be an executive doing a bylined article, right? And they get their point of view across. You may read that in one magazine, but then we look at all of our tools and the amplification channels and methodology to get that out there.
So let's talk about B2B versus B2C. How do you approach one audience versus the other? Business decision makers or consumers, so they too know companies, how to market to them. So what factors shape your strategy based on the audience?
Yeah, so that last part is the critical piece, right? The audience, and that's one of the reasons why persona work is so important, because it does shed light on where they're consuming their information, right? And that ultimately is going to drive the channels that we're selecting and the type of content that we're disseminating. And so obviously, if it's a B2B play, then we tend to go more industry focused, vertical and business outlets, as well as platforms, right? So we're going to lean a bit more into LinkedIn from a B2B standpoint, from organic and even our paid strategies. And I think LinkedIn has done a really nice job over the last couple of years of expanding the opportunities to leverage that platform for B2B sales and marketing. On the consumer side, we've got obviously a lot of, social platforms that we are leveraging. Again, back to the persona, that will influence some of that, right? If we're going after a millennial market versus a Gen X or a boomer market, we're going to look at the data, and that's going to shed some light on where we should place our emphasis on, say, an Instagram versus a TikTok versus, a Facebook. Ultimately, a lot of testing across those platforms based on whatever audience we're going after is going to, help us pivot or refine the recommendations.
So, Jenna, where are the firm's growth opportunities? Is it any more acquisitions on the horizon, or will it be internal growth?
Yeah, short-term internal growth. That's an easy one for us right now. We think there's tremendous opportunity with our existing client base and with Marston's, right? I mean, so we mentioned earlier the acquisition of Marston, and her client base is great for us to look at to expand some of our services like PR, right? So we see organic internal growth is our short-term push. We also certainly see a lot of opportunity in new clients that can take advantage of our combined offerings. I also think it's interesting, in the last, 6 months or so, we're seeing more and more traditional PR inquiries, and in some ways it's almost a refactoring that we're seeing of that discipline. And so our integrated approach, we think we're positioned incredibly well. So internal's a short term for now.
So, Dean and Jenna, is there any part of your personal journey or the agency's journey or any insights that you want to share with us that you haven't shared?
Yeah. We've been around 21 years, right?
In this entity.
21 years as Trevelino
Yeah.
Keller. And, we continue to learn and develop. And, we are thrilled that we're in a position of having these three kind of core services. We think we are, very well positioned for anything that evolves in the marketplace. And we've never really hunted upstream for large companies. We know there's a affinity towards multinationals, but we're at the scale now, 44 or so people, where we can compete pretty much at any level. if your focus is on North America. And, we approach things without any kind of prejudice toward taking a PR versus a marketing approach. We're looking at what we think the client needs, and that's not always the case, in vetting an agency. So, again, really excited about where we are and what the next few years look like.
Well, Dean and Jenna, I want to thank you for your time, and we wish you the best of luck and continued success moving forward. And keep us apprised of any acquisitions or some significant internal growth that we'd like to hear about. So, again, thank you for your time.
We certainly
Sounds great.
will.
Thanks, Edwin.
Take care.